Hi everybody, welcome to Spruverse, my scale model universe, and wow, am I excited about this particular show because we've just come back from Wonderfest. Now I know a lot of great modelers and good people have already posted an awful lot about imagery and stuff on Wonderfest, so you're saying to yourselves, another Wonderfest video? Phil, please, let's move on. But I say no, stop, because there is a very important reason for you to watch this video. And that is, if you have never been to Wonderfest and you don't really know much about it, you need to watch this show from beginning to end, and I'll tell you why. Because it starts with my relationship with Lou Delmaso over at Aztek Dummy. He's become a friend, and he's also a mentor and a guru for me. And I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people go, oh, fanboy, but I go, no. The reason why I say no is because, cut to, I get a chance to take a pilgrimage to Wonderfest at his recommendation. And when you see some of the models that are built in the competition room, and I found his, you understand why I am such a big fan of Lou's work. And I wanted to start my channel because of him. You know, model making as a hobby is one of the most amazing things, personally to me, that you could ever possibly be involved in. And we welcome everybody from all ages and all skills. And I really hope if you're considering building a model, if you're just sort of scrolling by and you've just found me, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But listen to me. You do not have to have any skills to start. You will build those skills over time. And a pilgrimage to a place like Wonderfest is where you will get inspiration and you will really become pumped about this hobby and the world of scale modeling itself. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Wonderfest. It happens in Louisville, Kentucky every year. Now, last year there was no Wonderfest, obviously, because of COVID. But for over 20 years, Wonderfest has been a cornerstone of the East Coast modeling community. And it is a very well-run, very well-run convention and an exposition or show, whatever you really want to call it. And I'm sure over the years they've learned how to build on that success and make it a really engaging, enriching experience for all modelers. First of all, the crowd was incredibly friendly. And I've never experienced that before. It was just delightful to see the energy and the passion and the camaraderie. That was number one. Number two, you know, to see all of the dealers back in the main room who have obviously suffered a tremendous amount of damage because of COVID, to see them come back and to have a lot of them tell me that 75% home in terms of the amount of business that they're doing, and of course the attendance. So, you know, we're not quite home yet in terms of COVID, but we are certainly coming back. And to see all of those fine folks coming into the main room and stimulating the economy was really, it was touching, and it was a great experience had by all. Now, it is a 2-day event. However, I arrived on the Friday night after the great planes, trains, and automobiles story of getting from Los Angeles to Louisville, Kentucky, because you can't fly direct. So we had to go through Dallas, and of course, weather delays and all other excuses like, well, our crew's in Albuquerque, our pilots are in Guam, and we don't know when the plane's leaving, to, oh, we're leaving in 5 minutes. You know, it's that kind of craziness now because of travel restrictions and also the fact that there's probably just less planes in the fleet flying. But anyway, we arrive, we got there late in the evening, and the first thing we did was put the bags down and we went straight down to the bar. You can find everybody in the bar. And Louisville, Kentucky has loosened its mask regulations, and there's a tremendous amount of people, certainly where we were, who were very proud of telling everybody in front of you that we were all vaccinated. So it was a really good experience, and everybody felt relatively comfortable. And so right out of the gate, we started meeting some really fun people in the bar that night. And anyway, needless to say, that was a great experience. Now, the next morning is when the fun began. Now, it doesn't start with me going down and checking out what's going on, because remember, I have never been to this experience. And so I've cut this video together, hopefully for you to share my firsthand experience and to give you a flavor of what's going on there. So literally my 2 days, my 4-day excursion, but my 2 full days at the convention, I've kind of crystallized into this video. So please try to stick it out and watch the whole thing and get an experience of what I felt. I've not bored you with a lot of interviews. We don't do that. But we do a little of an immersive kind of experience of the dealer's room and, of course, the competition itself. But for the most part, it really is my experience going to Wonderfest for the first time. Now, in the opening of the show here, you're going to see me in a very relatively empty room. And this is B room. There were 2 dealer rooms. There was A room and B room. And we happened to just take a left as you went into the convention space, and we found B room. And as we are walking to B room, to our right, you can see all the modelers who have gotten in line to get into the model competition room. Now, they started to allow people into that room, I believe, to set up at around 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Now, interestingly enough, I couldn't figure out, well, what's the big deal? Well, it's a huge deal, because if you are the first in line, you get to put your model down in a choice space. And I think there's a strategy here where people want to be in a certain place, either because they've been lucky there or because they feel like the traffic is better there. I don't know. I think everybody's got their own strategy, but that's why there's a huge line. And of course, COVID as well slowed everything down. So there's another reason why they couldn't have that many people in the room at once. But there they were with huge boxes that were protecting their models. And to me, that was very impressive. And it did start getting me thinking about next year, because I'm definitely going to enter some things into competition, because you just have got to dive in, right? But getting models from Los Angeles to Louisville, Kentucky without something snapping or breaking is giving me sleepless nights now, and we're another year away from the next event. But anyway, needless to say, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Now, so here we are walking in, we take a left, we go into room B, and this is the footage you're going to see first. Empty room, as I mentioned, because we had VIP badges. Now, don't get all, everybody can be VIP if you pay the extra, I think it's $15 to get early access. Now, the reason why you want to do that is, yes, there are less crowds, but also because there may be things for sale that are going to be gone by 10 o'clock, because people come, and believe me, they grab things fast. And there's an awful lot of interesting things that are one-offs, one-of-a-kinds, all kinds of things. They might be old garage kits. They might be something you're looking for your stash. It doesn't matter. Now, B Room has some pretty cool models. They're super large. We take a little look at those. I didn't spend a lot of time walking around in B Room because it's mostly jewelry and a lot of obscure things that are not really related to the craft. I understand why they're there. They're sort of subcategories, and that's awesome. But we didn't spend a lot of time there. Then we're going to take you to the main room. And you'll see me talking to a gentleman who's got his back to us. Now, this is a new friend of mine. His name is Steve. Hi, Steve, if you're watching out there in Georgia. What a gentleman, and his brother, just decent, good people. And I'm really looking forward to us building on a relationship. He's an awesome human being, and it was really great to meet him. So with my 2-day pass in hand, off we went into the main dealer room. Now you'll see in this first video, a lot of it is self-explanatory. So why don't we dive in? Let's take a look at day one.
Wow.
It's scratch built. It's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of work.
What scale is that?
Oh, it's beyond 1 to 1. It's its own scale. When you're in space, scale is relative. Good for you. Gotta hear it.
Oh,
This is a Meng kit, M-E-N-G. Weighs a ton. It's amazing. What a great kit. Oh, hilarious. What part of California? From Los Angeles, Calabasas. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I was going to say. Started already. I normally would have offered it to you. Oh, that's quite all right.
how are we getting this home?
This gentleman here has been kind enough to ship things to me.
Okay, very good.
So,
What did you get?
I got some plants. I got a fantastic pin vise holder.
Oh.
And I got a couple of, oops. Oh, receive any card? No. Shuffle my card. Okay, we're good. All right. I've destroyed this man's booth and I'm leaving.
Show me what product you got.
So,
No, over there.
Well, I have a Meng kit.
Uh-huh.
And it's 1/1000 scale. It's massive. It's from a movie called The Wandering Man.
Uh-huh.
And I have a little satellite, robot called Kreschnevogel from a German company, which I'm excited to get. One of those little kits, but very cool. This is fantastic. Look at this. That is beautiful.
Wow.
That is awesome. Did you build this?
This is actually
You sell this?
Well, actually,
I just met a guy by the name of Bill Weiger who actually sculpted the the Pegasus shark that Wayne and I are building. He is the sculptor of it, and he also has an orca kit that we just picked up, all resin. It is stunning. I can't wait to show everybody this kit. Fantastic.
Excellent. I know. This is stunning.
I have this kit.
You got to do it.
Yeah. So, the great Lou is building this kit.
I'm taking personal I've told you before, the reason to get commercial copies and therefore people they will make it.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see you finish it. I really can't. So, we're in the main dealer room, and they've just announced that they're letting everyone else in. There's a huge line outside. We got in early, but so far I've just been completely overwhelmed by what I'm seeing. There's so much variety here, from vintage resin kits to new kits, all kinds of different brands and manufacturers that I'm aware of, but I've never seen their actual product. And of course, resin is still huge. Some amazing sculpts. Very exciting.
What'd you get, hun?
So these weathering pencils are actually compressed acrylic paint in a pencil form. So you can actually weather with them, create scratches, panel lines, and they act just like paint. Incredibly precise control. Great fun. AK Interactive.
Cool.
It's a great company.
That's awesome.
If you don't mind.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Thank you very much.
Yay. Thank you. Uh-huh.
So we've only ridden down 2 aisles, and it's just absolutely fantastic. We took a quick break, got some breakfast, went upstairs, dropped a whole bunch of stuff off, and now we're back down for more. And anything I pick up here, I'm going to do a whole show on all the things that I bought separate to this, because this is just worth just taking in all on its own.
What's that one?
So this is interesting. This is the Voyager, but what's unique about this particular kit is it's all pre-painted.
Oh, wow.
So all the parts, it's just an assembly, and the lighting kit is included. Now, you may want to do some pastel weathering on it or something like that, but all the detail work is done for you. So this particular kit is from Bandai. Amazing detail, and this is really a lot of fun. Quite detailed. I think this is Bill's work. This is Bill Wagon's work. That is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
2008.
I think this is the Megalodon by Bill Weiger, and it is. It comes in that massive box. Extraordinary.
What if 1946, 1947,
A holy grail.
The Holy Grail. Yeah. It was good.
He did work too. He did work too.
On initiating systems check. Please stand by. Sector class 101.
Okay, I wish I was 10 years old again, because then I actually tried to build my own version of this. This is a boy's wet dream. This is really fun, especially if you're into flashing lights and flipping switches as I was as a kid. So we're in the Lost in Space experience at Wonderfest. Lots of great stuff here, all full-scale replicas, costumes, obviously consoles. So much fun, and everybody is so friendly. It's great. Okay, this is not really model making. This is engineering, and it's extraordinary.
lot of these guys here who are building this sort of thing clearly put a lot of passion and time into making sure that all the electronics and everything functions. Amazing. I'd love to have this in my living room. Oh my God, that's so smart.
What is that one?
So this is the 22-inch Eagle from the television series Space 1999. It makes a beautiful model. We're going to be building this on the channel. Great fun.
Do you have it already?
I do. I have this kit.
All right, it's time for more round of
These are brushes for fine detail work. So if you're into miniatures, sculpts, or just very fine painting, you really got to have good sable brushes. Cheap brushes won't do it. And if you look after them, they'll really take care of you. But the key here is if you have a steady hand and some really good brushes, you can do some amazing work. Okay, so if you really want sci-fi kids, this is the guy to go to. This is Steve behind the counter there. This is Culttvman, an incredible website. So if you need anything sci-fi, this is the place to get it. Well, I picked up a couple of paragraphics photo etch kits, one for my Chariot, which we're going to be building on the channel, and a Raptor, which we're also going to be building on the channel. But I'll let you into a dirty secret. I always buy one or two. I don't just get one. I know it can get expensive, but photo etch can be a little tricky. And if you break it or something bends and you don't have a replacement, you're in a world of hurt. So always get two of everything, especially Lou's Aztek Dummy masks, which I highly recommend. So at Culttvman, he's got a lot of the great classics here. I mean, obviously you've got Lou Delmaso's Aztek Dummy masks, but more importantly, Randy Newbert's lighting kits from Voodoo Effects. If you don't know Randy, go check out his website, voodooeffects.com. He's a great guy, and his lighting kits are very easy to follow and great to use. Okay, so this is the Star Trek stand from Nebula Shipyards. Now I've promoted this on my channel on an episode called Base Camp. Check it out. This is a first-class product. Here it is. Look at it. Here it is being used. It's just beautiful. It's a great stand for your kit. I highly recommend it.
What's that?
These are nippers for the sprue cutters. Some of these companies, they're really incredibly well engineered. Now you can get a Xuron and pay $44 for it, but this $44 would be well worth it because these are incredibly sharp, so you're less likely to actually pinch or tear your sprue. So I would highly recommend investing in a good pair of sprue cutters, and this would definitely be one of them. This is the world of Gundam.
Ooh.
And it's a really specialized type of kit. No glue is needed. The mechanics on how these are made are beautiful. Bandai has done an incredible job with the engineering. It's a whole world in and of itself. I'm going to build one on the channel soon, but These can be very, very expensive, but the quality is extraordinary. And as I said, no glue is needed, and the result is just an incredible model. Great fun. Great fun. That's okay. I'll tell Bill. Did you check with PayPal? I haven't checked. Well, why not? Yeah, you have money. So, does it come with everything? Pretty much, yeah. I just need to do the rigging myself? Okay.
I've been trying to build a website or something on Facebook to get instructions and stuff like that.
Right. Does it come with any kind of information? Does it come with any information?
So what I do is I have over 1,000 orders.
Excellent.
And I just like have that.
This happens. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. London After Dark. Sideshow?
It is, it's Sideshow.
What's that, Jaws?
It's a game. It's called the Game of Jaws. I guess the object of the exercise is it's the first one not to get eaten. So we're going to leave the main room here to go check out all of the models that have been entered into the competition. It should be incredible. I'm really excited to see all of the craft work from my fellow hobbyists, and I'm sure I'm going to be drooling over a lot of things, but one thing is for certain. I made a pilgrimage here, and I'm going to find Lou Delmaso builds. If I could vote for all of them, I would.
Okay, so that's day one. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, there's a lot going on, and you can see the engagement, and every one of these dealers and these sellers have a unique story. They're from all parts of the country, and some of them have bricks and mortar, very few, and a lot of them just work the shows. Those who have bricks and mortar, you know, they sort of have a very specific reason why they're coming. Either they've got a lot of unique garage kits, or they want to drum up business for their online sales. But for whatever reason, it's great to see them there. And then you've got the people who only do online. You know, they don't have bricks and mortar. An example of that would be Culttvman. Now, Steve Iverson is an awesome human being, and I had the distinct pleasure of spending a little time with him. He was kind enough to talk to me about his business and for me to sort of learn a little more about how things work. He has two businesses. He has his online business for retail, which is Culttvman, and then he has his distributions business, which is Doll and Toy. And Doll and Toy is where you can, as a brick and mortar, buy supplies, kits, models, all kinds of things from him. Obviously at wholesale prices if you have a wholesale license. So he has those two worlds. And of course there were all kinds of other people there. Round two was there. And you noticed that I had a great conversation with the great Lou Delmaso about Grissom. He's building a massive Grissom, and of course round two are coming out with their version of Grissom, I think next year in around the fourth quarter. I'm not entirely sure. But it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be a great collection to your Star Trek kits if that's what you are into. The only other thing I wanted to clarify is, as I mentioned, that I bought a Mang kit from a movie called Wandering Man. It's actually Wandering Earth, but classic me. It goes in one ear and comes out the other, and I swear to God, it's really difficult for me to learn. To remember people's names. So if I meet you and I have a blank stare, please apologize and know it's old man disease. So the other thing about day 2, which is really cool, is we had an opportunity to meet the great Tom over at the Lost in Space Experience, and he was kind enough to show me some of the original props that have been restored and talk to me about some things. You'll see an incredible mock-up replica of the control surfaces from the Jupiter 2. That was amazing. And in the corner, you'll see there is a Jupiter 2, which he tells me was built from the original Greg Jean mold. Now, Greg Jean is an effects guru here in Los Angeles, who actually owns the original Lost in Space Jupiter 2, and this is apparently pulled from that mold. And it's an impressive size, obviously, and would have needed to be filmed on 35. So there you go. So enjoy day 2. And then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the competition room, which is amazing.
Electronic synthesizer unit. This is the actual box that was used in Space Vikings. Remember Dr. Smith put the gauntlets inside the box. And this even has 20th Century Fox markings inside.
Extraordinary.
When I acquired this, it was all rusted out.
So you did all of the repairs and restoration yourself.
And this, you need to hold this, okay? You're holding the actual helmet that June Lockhart wore in the first and second episodes. It was also used in 5 episodes later by Warren Oates as Jimmy Hapgood. This is what Jimmy Hapgood wore, and these are the colors that it was in. This has been restored.
Isn't it beautiful?
But this is the actual foam that's inside. I used to let people try this on. I don't anymore.
No.
Because this is starting to degrade.
No, you mustn't do that.
And June's head was in here, and Warren's Oates' head.
Isn't that wonderful?
And my head's been in there.
And I assumed it was just a motorcycle helmet, was it?
No. This was specifically made for Lost in Space. There were 3 helmets made.
Fantastic.
And I know where the other 2 are.
Okay.
They're in collector's hands.
Right. That is fantastic.
This is the actual gasket. Nothing has changed. It's in pretty good shape.
Isn't it wonderful?
And then this, oh my goodness. I remember the episode Space Colonist
very
with
well.
Noble Deolani.
Yes.
And I will allow you to put this on. This is Jonathan Harris wore this. Okay? I had to do some restoration. When I got it, it was all cracked and green. But I'll go ahead.
I got a portrait in my head.
Looks great. Woohoo!
Okay,
Where is Dr. Smith?
I just died and went to Lost in Space heaven. This is fantastic. How cool is this?
Woo.
That is extraordinary.
And
I'm so...
chances are this was also used in Cleopatra
Right.
and in
Oh,
Ben-Hur.
of course. That would make perfect sense.
And then James Darren held it like this in an episode of Time.
Wow, that's amazing.
You never threw anything away until they threw it away, and then it broke your heart.
Space Pod, he's got a video of
I
this.
saw that. That's impressive.
It's about an hour. I gotta go out.
Fun. And now, do you do this every year here?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I do some other shows. It just depends. I like to do shows with cast members
Yes. Understand. Makes sense.
because then they get their people can get their pictures taken with them, the flight deck or with a robot. It just makes things instead of just sitting at a table and saying an autograph. This allows you to connect with what you love. You know?
Okay, so that was day 2, and now I want to finish with the competition room because, you know, one of the things that is so intriguing about this hobby is, you know, it's not like a book club. We don't usually all sit around in a room and build models together, although a lot of guys have figured out how to have these Friday night chats or whatever night chats, you know, live, where they're all on YouTube together, hanging out and just talking. And that's pretty cool. But for the most part, we modelers are, you know, we're hermits, right? We're in our space and we're doing our thing. And I have to say, secretly, that's a big part of the appeal to me. I love my quiet time, and to be in my hobby shop doing what I love best, there's nothing better on earth. I really believe that. It's just great fun. But when you get a chance to meet the community and see what they're doing, it really is fascinating. Now, the other thing I'll say quickly before we go to the competition room is, curiously enough, Wonderfest is really about fantasy. It's not really about militaria. There's a lot of other conventions that just focus on that. And I'm going to sort of do some research on that and put it on the website, spruverse.com. If you haven't gone, please go check me out. I'm also on Instagram, obviously, at Spruverse, and of course here on the channel. But I'm going to make an effort to really research where all these great conventions are, and try to put a list of them on the website and keep that current for you. Now, getting back to the competition room, wow. There must have been over 700 entries. It was incredibly impressive. And you'll see the incredible array of things, from spaceships to props to creatures. There are resin kits, you know, there are paint-ups of beautiful statuary. There are some scratch build things. There are some kits that have had added to them. But the one thing that really struck me was the imagination that goes into presenting a lot of these models. One particular person actually went to the trouble, and you'll see, of putting an easel, putting their model, it was a spaceship, on an easel, and below the easel are all the tools and paintbrushes and glues and all the different things that he perhaps might have used to build the model. An amazing presentation. And then, of course, you've got all kinds of different ways of presenting the model in landscapes and futurescapes and those sorts of things. One in particular you'll see is a Mandalorian Scene from Ken Spriggs, an incredibly talented model maker who has a channel. And his presentation, I was curious to see in person, and it was really worth it. There was also a scene he had done from The Thing. Dioramas are really fun. They really suck you into the model, and they're a great way of presenting it. But they take an awful lot of time, and they take another level of skill, because you've got to get everything in scale with the actual kit that you're building, and that is not so easy. So lots to see here, lots of fun. Let's take a look at the competition room, the models, and then we'll come back and wrap up.
There's your job.
Great fun. Oh, look at this.
Now that's a base.
That's a base.
Because it's all about that base.
I mean, the Enterprise and Steam has got the about that.
So what does that mean, mixed medium?
There's a lot of sculpts, a lot of resin, and mostly the skill here is in the painting. Some of the sculpts are beautiful, but cleaning up some of these resin kits and then actually painting them is another thing. Some of the painting details are extraordinary, and that's where these things come alive. How cool is that? Captured her beautifully. Isn't that great?
It looks fantastic.
And it's all in the eyes. If you can get the eyes, golden.
Full ship is you open up the little hatches. Oh, but I'm thinking of Battle of the Planets. That is Battle of the Planets. Yeah, I mean,
You have that one, right?
Not this scale. Camera doesn't do them justice. Really fun because the finish on this is really beautiful, but what's more interesting is the chips and the dents and all the detail work here. It's all hand brushed. It's really cool. They didn't use any kind of chipping devices with like a hairspray or chipping liquid. This is all hand brushed. That's a beautiful piece of work. Lou Delmaso.
Ah!
Have a good time, yeah. Beautiful.
This is my favorite, actually. See enough for that? Let's go eat this one and inside. So did you? Yeah, this is real good stuff.
It's the Y2-450 freighter. I think it's from Star Wars. John Carr will have to tell us from what.
What is that?
Somebody's just gone all out on a model kit and then expressed it in the form of an art, just a gone off on an artist's easel, all the paints, everything that was actually used to build a model kit. It's a beautiful presentation. It's some of the sense of imagination and the fun and the detail is extraordinary.
That's a good question.
This is from the original series. It's a Type 2 biocomputer. It was a kit that was available many years ago, and it's been lovingly reproduced here. Great fun. This is the bottle for my Dream of Genie. This section is all about props. Look at this. Electronic clipboard from the original series. That's very clever. This is a stormtrooper cleaning a floor. That's clever.
Yeah.
The attention to detail is just phenomenal.
I know.
So there you go. Isn't that incredible? I just actually we spent several hours in the competition room, if you can believe it. I just went round and round and round and round, and I just couldn't get enough of it. And some of the things that strike you when you really take a close look at some of these models, and curiously, you know, there's all different skill levels. But when you can take a camera and stick it right in the face of one of these models and not tell it's a kit, that is impressive. And so when the judges are going around and they're looking at the various models, you know, they're looking for some basic things, and then they're looking for some other things as well. So I suppose to judge a model, one would assume that there are the basic things, right? How clean it is. How finished the seam lines are they have they disappeared? Do you see any glue? Do you see anything that looks out of place or looks perhaps like it isn't finished correctly? And then of course there's the paint scheme and how well that is layered, and of course how it is presented, and is it lit, and how the lighting works within it as well. So they're looking at all these various different elements that will obviously showcase these models and make a difference between whether you're gold, bronze, or silver. But I believe this year everybody got a medal for participating, and I appreciate that. But I do also appreciate the stiff competition as well. I also had the pleasure of getting to see some of the kits of some of my great model makers that I follow, and it was great to see that as well. So lot to be seen there. You leave humbled, excited, and really invigorated. You wanna go back and sit at your bench and just go, I can do better. Look at how crisp this model is, how clean the windows are, how they've chosen to use all kinds of very clever aftermarket things that are available to us, but they do add a whole nother level of challenges for us. Whether you're 3D printing, whether you're creating your own masks or your own visual signage, whether you're doing your own decals, all these layers of skill just give you another tool in your, in your quiver, another arrow in your quiver, I should say. If you're going to go into competition and you're really taking this seriously, and a lot of these people, these great talented hobbyists took it very, very seriously. And that was the competition room. In closing, I want to say that Wonderfest has now become a pilgrimage for me. I will be going to Wonderfest every year, not only to build on the relationships that I've began, but to make new friends and also to stay in touch with a community that clearly is passionate, incredibly friendly, very resourceful, and clearly it's one of those great opportunities where, yes, you can go to a website and click on something and buy it and send it from eBay, but to be able to physically see all these things and look at the various different kits that are available and the different products that are available, you can really learn some fun things. For instance, AK Interactive has these weathering pencils. I bought an entire set because they are actually acrylic paint put into a pencil form. You can use them wet or you can use them dry, and they are incredibly pinpoint accurate, and they're great for all kinds of weathering and detail work. So I'm really excited to start bringing my acrylic pencils into my hobby shop. And again, this is about learning as well. You've got a great opportunity to meet some very talented people. And of course, upstairs in the event itself were some sidebar meetings that were wonderful about resin kits, and meeting people like Randy Cooper and learning about resin from him and how he builds, and all kinds of different people. And of course, the great Marta Christensen was there signing for Lost in Space, and that was just great fun. So in all, you can see that I am incredibly overwhelmed and just so excited about adding Wonderfest to my world. And again, I am one of these guys who comes into my hobby shop every day and learns something. I don't claim to be anything other than a mediocre modeler, although I want to raise the bar and I want to learn. And I will. And we'll all get better together if that's what you want. If you don't and you're happy with what you're doing, absolutely, God bless you, and you should not feel any kind of pressure to do that. But for me, wow, there's so much to learn and so far to go. So in closing, I just want to say thank you to everybody who was kind enough to make me feel welcome. And of course, a big thank you to the great Lou Delmaso for his generosity, his kindness, and his time. And hopefully next year's Wonderfest we'll do something a little different, a little more exciting. But I was so excited to bring you my point of view about Wonderfest, and there it is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, I'm on the web at spruverse.com. You can reach me there. You can also reach me at spruverse@gmail.com. Feel free to drop me a line and say hi. I'm always happy to chat to everybody. I'm on Instagram at spruverse. And of course, I'm here on the channel trying to develop my skills and build a relationship with this awesome community. So that's it for the Wonderfest show. I hope you've enjoyed it. We look forward to our next builds on the channel. They're coming down the pike quite quickly. I just put out Delta Flyer, and there'll be some new videos starting soon. So there it is. Everybody, be well, be safe, build something, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.